Yo, Brawlers, this is your man, Glass Chin, and you're watching Glass Chin's Boxing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yo, Brawlers, 11 months in the making. The rematch between Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua finally happened Saturday night in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I've got mixed feelings about this event with a couple of robberies that were on the undercard, with both Richard Rivera and Zhilei Zhang both losing by dodgy decisions. When I heard it was a split decision for the main event, it was hard not to think that the fix was in. I wanted Joshua to win badly, but not in that way. Lucky two of the judges got it right. Personally, I scored the fight 116, 112 in favour of Usyk. That's not to say that the fight wasn't competitive, because it was. Both guys put it all on the line, and the momentum sway from the beating Joshua gave Usyk in the ninth round to Usyk coming back in the 10th and sticking it right back on Joshua. The fight had everything a championship contest should have. It was a great fight, overshadowed by Joshua's bizarre behaviour in the aftermath of the fight. You have to really feel for Usyk. His heartfelt moment was cut short with Joshua acting like a complete diva, having a tantrum, throwing the belts out of the ring, starting on a member of Usyk's team before storming out of the ring, then only to return to the ring, have a Barney with Usyk before the cringiest speech in boxing history. It really wasn't a good look from Joshua, who showed zero class. Stay humble, yo. It's really a shame Joshua acted that way, as it overshadowed the great fight and possibly the best Joshua's ever looked. He really dug deep and corrected a lot of errors from the first fight. His body work was on point, he used his size better, he was more aggressive and he counterpunched well. The only real criticism I've got is he still couldn't get that jab firing right. He struggled to time Usyk with it. Usyk took a lot of the jabs on his gloves. Overall, Joshua missed with 90% of the jabs that he threw. That's a poor statistic for an elite heavyweight. There was a lot of positives to take from this loss, but as I said, it was overshadowed by his actions outside the ring. Even when things calmed down and he was on the way back to the dressing room signing hats as he went, Joshua abused an old man for saying keep it professional. I could be wrong, but I don't think the old fella said it with any bad intentions, but Joshua definitely took it as an insult. Anyway, he's only human, and I just think he picked a bad time to have a meltdown, but you can't fault the man for his passion. You have to fault his new team for blowing smoke up his arse, telling him he was winning rounds that he was clearly losing. I don't know why they was telling him he won the opening 3 rounds. I gave the first two to Usyk, with Joshua taking the third. Look, I'm not trying to knock him or his team. He was much more competitive in this fight than the first one. Some of the rounds he didn't win, but it was close. He worked to his strengths, he targeted Usyk's body all night, and you could see it was having effect. He put it on Usyk big time in the ninth round, and Usyk looked like he might go. It looked like the fight might be over. Unfortunately, Joshua's Achilles heel, his stamina wasn't there to compete in the last 3 rounds, handing Usyk the fight. Joshua punched himself out in the ninth, and he didn't recover. It's a shame, as he was ahead on the cards going into the 10th round. Joshua's stamina wasn't there in the first fight either, with him almost getting knocked out in the final round due to exhaustion. So I don't know why Joshua came in even heavier than he did in the first fight, weighing 4 pounds more. I'd have thought he would maybe have dropped some of the bulk, not too much weight, but I thought he would have come in a little bit leaner, maybe a few pounds lighter. Anyway, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Joshua said it himself, he's not a 12-round fighter, he's a new breed of heavyweight, he's not 14 stone, he's heavy. Anyway, that's enough about Joshua. What can I say about Usyk? He's just too good, man. I can't see anyone beating him outside of Tyson Fury. Even then, Usyk may be too good for him. Usyk has already earned a place in the Hall of Fame for me. At 35 years old, I wonder how many fights he has left in the tank. He hasn't taken too much wear and tear over his pro career, but 350 amateur fights, cutting weight might have took its toll a little bit. But there's lots of decent fights out there for him to keep busy. Joe Joyce could be the next in line as the WBO mandatory if he comes through the Parker fight. I'm sure they will try and make the Filip Hrgović fight next, but personally I have no interest in that fight. It was a strange fight with Zhang that he should have lost. He basically gave the fight to Zhang, looking disinterested for large parts of the fight. Maybe he was jet lagged as he didn't do much media commitments, or maybe his head just wasn't in the game. Maybe he's still mourning his father who passed away earlier this year. But unfortunately, I have to say that Hrgovic's stock has dropped. But it's an in-house fight that they can do on DAZN, so they might go for that one next. Zhilei Zhang, on the other hand, I was really impressed with. I'll be honest, Brawlers, I completely wrote the man off. There's talk of him next taking on Chisora in China. What a huge event that would be for both guys. Great money involved, both at the back end of their careers, so they both deserve it. I'll stay tuned for news of that one, Brawlers. It doesn't look like Daniel Dubois will be taking on the Usyk fight anytime soon, as he's rumoured that he'll now be fighting Dillian Whyte next. Dubois seems to have a bee in his bonnet after the things that White said about him after the Joe Joyce fight. White called him a quitter, etc. Respect to the bar if he does take that fight, as White, for his first defence, it's quite a hard fight. I really thought that the bar would pad out his record a little bit with his first few defences, maybe take on the Lucas Brown type fighters that are in the WBA rankings, while waiting for the winner of Hughie Fury versus Michael Hunter in their WBA eliminator. Tabar really has some balls on him to take a risky fight like White, when he can just sit on his position and wait for his WBA super title shot against Usyk. You have to say, Brawlers, that White would start as favourite in that fight as well. It's a bit like Joe Joyce. I'm not sure why he's risking his WBO title shot fighting an ex-world champion like Joseph Parker, when again he could sit on his position and wait for the title fight against Usyk. Maybe Frank Warren knows that Fury will be fighting Usyk twice next year, and the retirement talk is just a load of bull. In that case, it's likely that none of the eliminators will be called until 2024. That's if Usyk even keeps the belts. He made it clear that he's only interested in the undisputed fight. Will Usyk even fight on if Fury retires? He's just made a reported $60 million against Joshua. He's not going to get that type of money fighting anyone else other than Fury. But if Usyk does continue to box, Brawlers, who would you like to see him fight next? Fury, Joyce, Hrgovic, Daniel Dubois, Dillian Whyte, Aslanbek Mekmadov, Frank Sanchez? Who's your pick, Brawlers? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.